Tonight, on the eve of the 20th anniversary of the deadliest terror attack on American soil, we remember from Ground Zero here in Lower Manhattan. Honoring the legacies of the nearly 3,000 Americans lost here at the Pentagon and Pennsylvania, and the pain that echoed in the years after. All the governors call his new mandate an assault on private business. Plus, the new study showing unvaccinated Americans are 11 times more likely to die of COVID. The heroes of Flight 93, 20 years after passengers aboard the United flight prevented an attack on the nation's capital, their families gather to honor them. Our conversation with Condoleezza Rice. With U.S. forces out of Afghanistan, is America less safe? Afghanistan in turmoil. We're at a chaotic border crossing where the Taliban won't let Afghan refugees out and Pakistan won't let them in. 9/11 and mental health. A look at the crisis facing our first responders still suffering. Teen Titans, the surprise women's final at the U.S. Open. And on the road, September 11th turned a newlywed into a widow, and how her new purpose, making sure we never forget that day.
This is the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell, reporting on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 from New York.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We are coming to you tonight from one of the sites of the worst terrorist attacks on U.S. soil, Ground Zero, the World Trade Center site where passenger jets became missiles and office buildings looked like war zones. The attack that forever changed America took place 20 years ago tomorrow. In a moment, we will hear from the families of victims and examine the threats that exist today. We'll also take you to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where Flight 93 went down. But we're going to begin with the current crisis facing this country, the COVID pandemic. Tonight, President Biden is getting fierce pushback to his vaccine mandate that would impact 2/3 of American workers. More than 20 Republican governors are lined up in opposition. The president is firing back, calling those governors cavalier with the health of children, and he appears ready to battle it out in court. Boosting his case is new research showing that if you are unvaccinated, listen to this, you are 11 times more likely to die from COVID. It's a pretty stunning number. CBS's Weijia Jiang is going to lead us off tonight from the White House. Good evening, Weijia.
Good evening to you, Nora. Republican leaders are accusing President Biden of bullying and coercion, and they promise to take steps to stop those new requirements from taking effect. But tonight, the president is not backing down, stressing that lives are at stake.
Tomorrow morning, we will have live coverage of the 9/11 anniversary ceremonies starting at 8:30 in the east, 5:30 in the west. And a final word about where we are tonight, where the Twin Towers once stood. Behind me are the names of 2,977 fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, and friends who died here at the Pentagon and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania 20 years ago tomorrow. A day that forever changed America and the world. I'm Nora O'Donnell in downtown New York City. Good night.